If you were being chased by a wild animal or you just needed to run in the event of an emergency, would you feel confident that your knees could handle the demands of running? If the answer is no, don't worry. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 steps you can use to feel confident in your knees again and relieve yourself of the stress that knee pain and knee stiffness may be having on your life. The first area we want to look at is the soleus, which is below the back of your knee here. And why this is important is because this is a stabilizer muscle. If you don't have this muscle developed, you're literally going to fall on your face every time you try to walk. So most of us have this area developed to a point where we can walk. As we grow older, sometimes this deteriorates. It's one of the first areas to atrophy. So for that reason alone, it's important to keep whether you have knee issues or not. But the reason it's also important for knee issues is because this area, the soleus, is the main muscle we use when we run. And if you think about the impact running has on your lower body, it can be summarized through this. I'm going to get it up on screen. It's a study that shows when your foot hits the ground, 13 times your body weight worth of force comes through the ground up through your leg, and you want to be able to cope with that force, especially if you're a runner. So I'm going to show you how you can do that. And it's via a movement called the bent knee calf raise. And you may have done a standard calf raise before. It's simply just going up and down like this. But we want to target that soleus area, like I just said, and how you're going to do that is kind of the same thing, but kind of not, because you're going to bend your knee, and that's going to target a completely different area of your calf here, the soleus. But it's the same protocol. You're just going to keep your knee bent while your foot drives as high as you can upward while controlling the way down. Now, you might not be able to do that yet. It might be painful to hold your knee in that position. You might not be strong enough yet, which is exciting. There's a lot of potential there if you can't even do it at this level. But how you would regress this is simply hug the wall as tight as you want and use 2 legs. So you can just bend both knees. Again, hold on tight to this wall and just bring your feet as high as you need, or as high as you can, up as high as you can, and down. One thing you also want to focus on with the bent knee calf raise is making sure that knee stays bent, or in this case those knees stay bent, because when your foot comes up like this, your knees are going to want to snap back. That's a signal that you need to work on this area. So your job is to keep those knees bent. Just work hard to keep those knees bent, even if you can only do a few reps at the start. We don't want our knees snapping back every time our foot drives up. That's going to mean that we're not going to be targeting that area we spoke of, and that's the sole purpose of this movement. But as this becomes easier, you can progress to doing it with 1 leg. And once again, focus on keeping that knee bent, driving that foot up. You don't want to collapse on the way down either. You want to drive up and control that way down. Then, when you feel a little more confident with this one, you can start using weight. Now, something I always look out for when I'm working with someone is only moving up to the next level of difficulty if they can do the level I'm about to go to, or the level you're aspiring to, without pain and with perfect form. So in order for me to use weight and to know it's the right time to use weight, I would need to be able to do this with perfect form without the quality collapsing. In this case, my knee isn't snapping back and I'm able to travel the same distance as my foot. If I'm only going to here, I haven't really become strong enough to tolerate more weight, and I should go back to here where I can do the movement without the quality of my technique dropping. But that's the bent knee calf raise, and if you start doing this, you're off to a flyer, especially when you're also doing the tibialis raise. So the tibialis is not actually a part of the knee. Neither is the soleus that we spoke about a moment ago. But these are important areas below the knee that protect it. So you best be doing them if you're serious about relieving the kinds of stress that knee pain can have in your life. And this one is commonly missing in a lot of knee programs. And if you're not doing it already, there's a lot of potential there. So how you're going to begin, you're just going to put your butt against the wall, keep your legs straight, drive your feet towards you. And I'm gonna put the reps and the sets on screen here that you can start doing them with. But whatever level you're at, the way you make it harder is by stepping further out. You'll notice straight away that's more of a challenge. But the way you make it easier is by stepping closer to the wall. Because let's say you start out here and it's quite difficult for you. You're just gonna wanna step in and do the same thing. If you haven't worked your tibialis before, you might need to start very close to the wall, and that's okay. As you get stronger and stronger, you'll be able to put your feet more out, and that'll be good evidence you're developing this area. And the plan will be that things like going down the stairs or whatever struggle you're having with your knee gradually becomes easier and easier as this area gets stronger and stronger. Now, this movement is the most important knee exercise in my opinion. The reason for that is because as you grow older, you gradually find yourself less and less needing to get into this position, and naturally your knees aren't going to tolerate that position as easily as you may have when you were a child. So for that reason, developing that ability a little more and more is gonna pay dividends in the way you feel and the things you're able to do with your life. So here's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it single leg. We're not gonna just jump straight into being able to do this. We're just gonna gradually push our knee a little further in that direction and make improvements as time goes on. So how we're gonna do that, you're just gonna go on your toe, push your knee as far as you can. That's all you're gonna do. Keep your torso upright, keep this back leg straight, and just push your knee as far as you can. You may only be able to go to here for now. This may even be difficult right now. If that is the case, you can just use a pole to take some of the weight off your knee. And just push as far as you can. As the weeks go by, you'll notice yourself being able to push further and further, but always move at your own pace. And eventually, you'll become strong enough that you won't need the pole if you stay consistent with it. And it's at that point you're gonna go at this level. Eventually you'll get to a point where you can't go any further if you stay consistent with it. And at that point, you're gonna go on a lower box just to challenge yourself more. And I hope you're starting to see at this point that my knee bending in this direction is the exact replication of that movement that comes so easy to us as kids, but gets more challenging as we grow older. A great example of the changes this movement can create in your life can be illustrated through Alexander's ability to only bend to here when he first started, and within a few weeks he could bend this far, as you can see on screen. And most importantly, he was able to experience less pain throughout the day, and he found things like cycling and running far easier, which is exactly what he intended to do when he started doing movements like this and the other ones I showed you. And it's all about knowing that you can progress further and further as you get stronger. So in the case of the ATG split squat, progressing to the point where you can do this on the floor like I am now can create massive changes in your life. You'll see the changes manifest not only in how your knee can bend further, but it will also be when you're playing with your grandkids, for example. It's not as strenuous, or you just feel a bit more confident moving. You don't feel like you're gonna fall every time you get up. And that's all there is to it, guys. It's all about being consistent and being gradual with regard to challenging yourself with a small number of movements. I showed you 3 today you can use to release a lot of the stress that knee pain and stiffness may be having in your life. But if you do want something more structured and you do want to access a number of more exercises that can enrich the quality of your life, check out the programs I've created within the Move Forever community. Every day people are reporting how much this has changed their ability to hike, their ability to play with their grandkids, or just their ability to not be so bogged down by the emotional and mental impact that knee pain, shoulder pain, back pain, and things like foot pain are having on their day-to-day lives. You'll get access to my full library, and you'll also get access to weekly Q&As where you can ask me questions. It's only $9 to get started, so jump on in. The link is in the description of this video. But make sure you tune into the next video where I'm going to be exploring the upper body, namely the shoulder, in more detail, because If you don't address the shoulder correctly, it can steal a lot of joy from your life. And I'm going to be showing you various ways in which you can target the shoulder from different angles and get to the point where you're not even thinking about the pain and stiffness that may be occurring. There's a lot of potential there for growth. Make sure you're not missing out on any of it.